Hi everyone, it's Kasia from Tafalarota. I would like to show you some of the best guidebooks that come with my tarot decks, and this video is inspired by a video that Elise, the Wild Moon woman, did on her channel. I will link it below. I was actually trying to pick decks and the books, the guidebooks that I keep using even if I don't use the deck it came with. But also I think a really good guidebook has a few features that I'd like to see in a guidebook to say, wow, this is an awesome guidebook. So a good guidebook is in some way, well published, so it's easy to find the information and it's easy to relate the words to the picture. So it's great when there is some kind of depiction of the picture in the book. A good guidebook describes the symbols used in the cards of the deck. So it's not just the Rider-Waite-Smith description of the traditional meanings, but a description that the author and artist used in the cards and what they shown, how they depicted the archetype used in the card, and then describe why they used the symbols and what was the meaning and the reason for using the symbol to depict the energy of the certain card. And also a good guidebook, I think, can be used specifically with this particular deck, but also has some kind of level of universality that can be, then can add to your exploration of tarot and can add another layer of the meaning of the card and can add another way of looking at the cards when you read a certain guidebook. So let's just move on, because I picked a lot of books. I was thinking about it and I thought, wow, this is a good guidebook and this is a good guidebook. They come in no particular order, but I have to say that I keep using a few of them a lot, and these guidebooks use symbols and describe the cards used in the deck, but have also these universal meanings attached to them that I can use them with any deck possible. So this is a guidebook printed from the PDF you can get from Ellen Lorenzi Prince website, and this is a guidebook to the Dark Goddess Tarot. It's amazing, especially the information that Ellen Lorenzi adds as a kind of active ritual-based way you can access the energy of the goddess or of the card when you draw it. And this guidebook is wonderful, and it really taught me how to look at the cards from another perspective and how to use the cards in a little bit of a different way. Another guidebook that I love, adore, and keep reading all the time, not only with this particular deck, but as to teach myself a little bit different, more psychological approach to the cards, is the Tarot of Transformation guidebook. It's great, and if you like psychology, you will enjoy this guidebook. It kind of mixes the mindfulness, Buddhist approach, psychology, Hakomi therapy, and so on and so forth in it, and it's really cool to enlarge and explore deeper meanings of the cards. Another booklet that I really enjoyed is a short one, and it's written really simply, very cool, kind of raw, normal approach to cards. It's from Anakata Tarot, and I really enjoyed this little booklet, and I love Anakata Tarot deck as well. Another one which is brilliant is the Robert M. Place's The Vampire Tarot Companion book, and it goes into many different things like history of cards and the way this one maybe cannot be used so widely or universally with other decks, but the way he incorporates Dracula history and Dracula story into the cards, and searches for historical influences in this deck. This book is great. It's really well written. It's not dry, but it has a lot of historical information, and yeah, it's brilliant. So whatever Robert M. Place does, I dig it. Another one which is really very cool is the Journey Through the Gaian Tarot. I've got the Llewellyn version because I traded my newer book for a deck. And this Llewellyn edition book is a way worse published than the new Schiffer edition book. Schiffer edition book is really cool. But the book in general is great. It's got journal questions and describes all the symbols used in the cards, gives you the reasons why, and so on and so forth. So I really highly recommend it. I also love the Spirit of Herbs for the Herbal Tarot. I love herbs, and it's really cool way to learn herbs and to like spread your knowledge about it. And Michael Terra, he's a famous herbalist. He also writes about spiritual properties, medicinal properties, about dose and preparation. There are keywords, affirmations, herbal allies that go with it, and also, like a spiritual meaning of the card in kind of association with the herb chosen for that card. So this is a great book to learn herbs and to learn tarot from yet another perspective. I also think that the companion book to Saki Tarot, it's really well written. It beautifully describes the cards. So there's a picture, beautifully describes the cards, and every symbol used in the card is kind of explained and mentioned in the description of the text. And then you also get the reading meaning, like what can it mean, and you get a lot of information about, symbolic use of astrological signs and so on and so forth. So this is a good guidebook. I also really enjoyed the Transparent Tarot guidebook. It's very cool. I like how it's organized, that it's got all the twos grouped together, or the threes or the fours, and so on. And there's a divinationary meaning, and also just a descriptive meaning of of the card in general and the energy of it. So it's a really good one. I also love the Mythic Tarot book. If you like mythology, I've got the the old version, the first edition. But if you like mythology, this is really a great little book to get to know the stories, because it's kind of made, each suit of the miners has a story, mythological story to tell. And because it's written by Liz Green also and Juliet Sherman Burke, they have added a lot of psychological information to it. So this is a good companion book. I also love the book M, Liber Mundi, the Tabula Mundi companion book. It's a very in-depth, thought-based book, but it also compares Rider-Waite-Smith and Rosetta Tarot kind of meanings and symbols in this book. You also get a lot of various information, so it's very in-depth, and it's a great companion book to this particular deck. I really enjoy the Animal Wisdom Tarot if you like animals, and also the Animal Wise Tarot companion book by Ted Andrews. It's really very well written, and there's so much information on the animals aside from the divinatory realms. You get to actually know the habits of animals, what they hunt for, what they're scared of. So it's very easy then to kind of reflect upon your own characteristics. I also think that the Medicine Woman in a Guidebook by Carol Bridges to the Medicine Woman Tarot, I love this guidebook. It's now maybe, it's a little bit in some points outdated, but I think it's brilliant. It's so well written, and I love guidebooks that give me an idea of another approach, and I love to read this one, even if I don't use this particular deck, but it gives you like the prayerful kind of respectful way to treat the cards. So I really like it. And Phantasmagoria, very, very cool guidebook by Ian Daniels. Really well done. Can be used particularly, obviously, with his deck, but there's heaps of information that can be used with any deck. Shadow parts also are mentioned in this book, so it's really good. Also the Maggie Stiefwater and the Raven's Prophecy deck. It's so well written. Love reading it. And very kind of grasping your attention, and really a simple, to the point, cool language. It's Dreams of Gaia Tarot, also very well done book as a companion book, really thorough. Raven Phelan did a very, very good job with this one. A lot of beautiful key phrases that can be used, in normal life, not just as a symbolic, some kind of mythological creature life, but she kind of brings it back to the regular life, so very cool. And also Nature Spirit Tarot book. It's so soulfully written, it's so gentle and kind and beautiful and spiritual. I really highly recommend this. Also, if you use Rider-Waite-Smith system, you would have another kind of twist on the cards, because it's Rider-Waite-Smith based deck. And I'm sure there's some more, but these are the decks that I use a lot, and all the books that I picked keep coming back and circling around my hands when I use different tarot decks. So I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any other books that are amazing, I'd love to see your response, or just write a comment. I will check it out. In any case, I wish you all the best, and I speak to you soon. Bye.